Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi everyone. We are once again we are going to do another webinar in the Halal Lifestyle, hosted by Halal Expo Canada. And today we have a special guest, well known to the industry, well known to the ethical investment and banking and finance, Mr. Samir Azam, who is not only our exhibitor for Halal Lifestyle Expo, also he's our one of our advisory committee and one of the panelists at the conference. Today, he's going to shed light on some of the things a lot of people would like to know about when it comes to ethical financing and investment. And he's going to, lead us to different areas of that particular field that a lot of the community are not aware of, with the opportunities that we can leverage from. So I'd like to welcome you, Mr. Samir. Please uh, give us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how did you end up in this halal lifestyle industry?
Yes, thank you for having me, Nasser. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Everything's good. Your family's well.
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Yeah,
great. Well, we're
good to
almost there. I think we things are getting looking much
yeah,
better. And I think when we had a chat last time, you said, Nasser, be very optimistic. Things are looking very well, and that's what I wanted. I asked you to come with me on this webinar to give us more of that and give us that more of the positivity that you talked about last week on the phone. And I wanted to hear more about it and let everybody who is following us to hear about it. The good news that's coming on our way.
yeah. No, thank you so much, Nasser. So, yeah, just quick. I know you asked me that question first. So I'm with RBC Wealth Management. I run an investment advisory practice here, and our focus is is on the investment side, the financial planning, the estate planning, and then my specialty is helping investors from our community, on how they can invest their money based on, halal principles. And we help our clients. We build portfolios based on that. We do from, zakat planning, and as you know, the Ramadan's around the corner, so we're really busy with that. So it's really exciting times for us, and alhamdulillah, things are going good on that side. Now, I know you said, why did I get into the halal lifestyle? So I've been in the industry 15 years, right? So 2005. I know maybe I look a little bit younger right now, but alhamdulillah, I got the good genes, I guess. It's 15, 16 years now, and I got into the halal investing side per se. You could say almost 10, 11 years ago. And in Canada, the market was there was pretty much a very small market, especially in the investing finance side, right? You had other markets, but this market was really, I would say, very tiny. And over the last 10 years, I've seen tremendous growth. And we see the next 10 years as the demographics change, and we're seeing more educated people from the halal lifestyle industry. Things are only going to get better, in my opinion. It was more of a thing for me is, how can I provide a solution for investors who want to invest in an ethical way. I want to avoid certain businesses because it doesn't go along with their values and their principles. And I got in that. And actually, one of my clients, he's a business owner. So there you go, right? Really good connection for you. Thinking about business owners really bring changes. So one of my clients, being a business owner, he's like, look, I'm diversifying some of my money into these type of investments. And the first 5 years, we were really conventional. We just focused on investing. And he started to push 10, 11 years ago to me saying, Samir, we really want to focus on investments that go with our values. So I started looking into it. I did a lot of consulting with a lot of qualified people in their industry, mentors, jurists, people who understand these, scholars who understand these, and all those said, look, we need a solution for our community. And, I wanted to do it at a bigger platform like RBC Wealth Management, because we're number one in Canada as a wealth management firm, and globally we're competing in the top 10. So I said, let's go for this. And so alhamdulillah, it's been good. We're trailblazing. Remember that. So we're trying to build something that has tremendous long-term growth. So it's going to take time, but as long as we're at it and we connect with people like you who are trying to help, the industry, the halal lifestyle industry with different aspects, it's only going to grow. So it's not industry is only investments, but there's other aspects. So if those industries are growing, this industry is going to grow too. So that's the reason I got into it. I see tremendous growth on a business level, but personally, I also wanted to follow my beliefs and my principles. So alhamdulillah, no complaints on that end.
MashaAllah, sounds great. I'm really excited about this, and I think before I start now, let us dive into the questions and pick your brains. I wanted everybody to see what's out there. A lot of people having this negativity about pandemic, it's gonna be forever and things like that. But we see it indifferently. We see things are looking brighter. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. There things are progressing as we speak on a daily basis. We hear the press brief from different politicians about how we are moving faster and faster than expected. And those are the things that we wanted to ensure the followers and make sure that they know that there are a lot of positivity coming on our way. So I wanted to also ask you just a question, like to start this. How do you perceive the current economic situation in Canada? And what do you think will happen in terms of recovery and future prospect? I mean, I just wanted you to give us a very, how to say, a very easy way to for everybody to understand what's happening.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for sharing, asking that question. So the way we look at it is, right, we look at it on two levels. We look on macro, so we look at, what's happening with the economy, so high level. And then we also look at micro, what's happening on company level, what's happening within the sectors of the economy. So I was just reading this the other day. They did a institutional survey for investors around the world, and especially North America, so that affects Canada and the US. They said, what's your biggest worry right now? Is it inflation, right? Is it the pandemic, right? Is it maybe housing prices going up? And a lot of people didn't say pandemic is their biggest worry. A lot of people said the pandemic was last year's worry, right? Because with science, we've kind of started to figure this thing out, right? So their biggest worry was inflation. And as you know, in economics, when inflation goes up, that means the economy is trying to get better, right? If inflation goes down, the economy usually kind of follows that, right? So the trend, the moving forward trend, we see a lot of positivity within the economy. And now our neighbors, US, are a little bit ahead because they have more of the vaccine, but we're behind them. And eventually, being their neighbors, we will see those trends catch up. And the vaccines are adding a lot of positivity. People are still kind of social distancing. So within the business aspect, the trend is getting positive. So it's getting better. So you want to start making moves now and building these things, because the next 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, the trend is only getting better, right? So that's what we've seen. Overall, the US economy is starting to heat up. So they're our neighbors, so are the largest trade partner. So that's going to help us automatically. And we're seeing signs where things are starting to open up with, of course, we're going to have these little spikes, right? Like things, cases go up, the government's going to slow it down. So it's going to happen, guys, right? It's going to be choppy, but the trend is positive. Last year, I was seeing it was a digital economy, 2020. So we went from analog economy, meaning people meeting people, going to the banquet halls, meeting people, trade shows, the analog economy, like the real economy. And it went to digital. Everybody was like, I got myself a Peloton, right? I would never imagine, right?
We're getting a fatigue, I would say, the fatigue right? of being always in Zoom.
Yes, right. Zoom, Netflix, like all these things, the digital economy. See, these are long-term secular trends that people should not ignore them. But I think 2021 is going to kind of go back from digital to analog, right? So industrials and materials and, the economy is opening up, construction, all these things are going to do better. Because human nature, for 1 year you had stuck this way, now they want it this way. So it's like a pendulum, right? First you went all the way here, so you're not going to sit in the middle. You're going to go all the way to the other side, and then we're going to figure it out in the middle. Like, maybe I'm not going to do paper documents anymore. I'll still use DocuSign for e-signatures because that's convenient for me, right? But maybe I'm not going to do Zoom. I'll come and see you and we can have a coffee and we could talk business, right?
Yeah,
And
I haven't seen it for a long time, basically.
I know. So the trend is positive. It's still going to be choppy because remember, we're behind the US with the vaccines, but I think we're going to figure it out. We're their neighbors. So, they want to open up more for trade. So you always have to look at the trend. You can't wait till the end, right? It's kind of too late. The trend is headed positive.
But is this trend you're talking about, is it impacting the appetite of the investors that, from your perspective, because you're dealing with a lot of investors on a probably daily basis, how do you see the appetite shifting, like from the time that they start talking about the vaccine? Has it been impacted in a good way, in a very fast pace, or is it gradually improving? How do you perceive it, and how would you?
I think, and as you know, we invest globally. Keep in mind, so I'm not just kind of putting on my Canada hat. Canada's there too, part of the global economy. So remember, right? The vaccine news came out in October 2020. Just saying there was a lot of positivity. November, December, we saw a massive trend from investors moving money from the digital economy back to kind of the cyclical, the analog economy. So you start to see energy, oil start to recover. That's a good sign. If oil is recovering, that means the economy is trying to get back. So remember,
I mean, we are paying more for gas anyway, so I don't know if
there you go, right? So if industrials, like, look at CP Railway, CN Railway, they're all saying, look, we have so much demand pent up. We got to start moving the economy because we're sitting away. So remember, we're trying to come out of a recovery, right? So the vaccine added a lot of positive news, right? And remember, right, you're going to have these variants and all these things. And I'm not a medical doctor to get into this, but it might be choppy, but we're trying to figure it out, right? We're trying to, science is figuring it out. If you look at the other, like SARS and the other infectious diseases, it took so long from clinical trials to figure it out, right? Some were 18 months, some were 2 years. If you look at COVID-19, they went 3 months, bang. As soon as they found out, they were clinical trials within 3 months. So there's a big investment from the government. And remember, the government's going to keep investing back in the economy till they can kind of get away from the shutdown, the pandemic. So I'm talking about business level, right? Maybe stock investments have kind of gone ahead because they always go ahead. So now, because remember last year we were talking, like, Samir, the real economy is here doing nothing, but stock prices are going up. What's going on here?
Yeah, that was
right?
A bit crazy, yeah.
Because think about it, the market is in our opinion, the market is right, saying that the economy will eventually recover. That's why stock prices were going up, right? Of course, there's some speculation there. There's some, I'm talking about the real, now this year is the real economy going to start to catch up. Right. So I think there's a lot of positive news. We have to get through the vaccines. That's the key. Canada has to get those wrapped up. And there's some good news about that, right? So,
I mean, we just heard yesterday from the Prime Minister, and we heard it from so many experts that things are really moving in a very, very fast pace, more than we expected. And I think we should always think positive and always trust our government and see what things are going on behind the doors, because we don't know what's happening. They're probably working 24/7 trying to get this thing done, because I'm sure the government's it's not for their interest to keep this going for longer as well, because they want to get this over with anyway. The other question I want to ask you, where do you see the market shifting, like towards recovery? And I guess you covered that a bit in a while ago. And what would you tell the potential investors in our community, like someone like me who want to invest in ethical investing? What would you like give them an advice or a tip that I can grab now and jump on the wagon and try to get my wealth moving up, moving a bit more faster?
Yeah, no, really good question. So thing is, right, think about it, you're a business owner, okay? So as a business owner, because the question is regards to business owner, even if somebody is like, they're, professional or whatever they're doing in life, right? You want to use, investing in stocks or real estate as like a passive investment, right? where you're going to be successful, Nasser, is in your business, because you know Halal Expo in and out. You know how it's going to be successful. You know where the areas to go. So that's your active business. This type of investing is more passive, to build diversify of your money away from one business area. So it's about just risk management first, right? As a business owner, if 10 years from now I'm looking at my portfolio, all my money's in a business. What if a pandemic happens again, or all my money's stuck in one area? So
True.
over time, as a business owner, you just want to kind of spread out that risk, right?
So
That's
you're saying,
number one.
so you're saying like a lesson learned from this pandemic, and I'm one of the people who I was victim of that, because nobody anticipated such. Even if you do a SWOT analysis in your forecast, or you do any kind of business planning, you put some of the threats that you might face, but nobody will assume in a million years that there will be such a pandemic that will affect not only Canada but the entire world. And this is clearly, you said it in a very nice way. I think I like what you said, that moving forward, especially in our community and around Canada and beyond, we should think about diversifying our portfolio, not just in one business area. We should put our money in other areas to have a backup plan, or to have something to fall back into.
Yeah, it's like Nasser, you hit it bang on. It's like you're not gonna get fire insurance when the fire truck is out of your house, right?
Oh, okay, that's
right.
That's right.
Right. So you cannot predict the future, right? All you could do is do the work, put yourself in a good situation, understand whatever market you're in, be the best you can be, and then over time, maybe diversify, reduce your risk, work with professionals maybe who can help you, right? So I think for business owners, number one thing is make sure you have a really good tax strategy, right? Understand that, get somebody who understands how you could be efficient with your taxes as a business owner. Second is to diversify, and my specialty is investing in these passive investments like stocks, and we also invest in REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. Is where to invest. I think this year is more about the analog economy, the cyclicals, right? When the economy started to recover, inflation's coming up, right? That means you want to invest in the real economy business, like industrials, like railways, machineries.
What about like service, like tourism?
Tourism, yes. Okay. Travel, right? Cyclical. So travel.
You think people will travel more and do other?
Yeah, because it's coming from such a low point, right? So travel industry will benefit, hotel industry, Airbnb and Uber and all these companies, that because nobody was using them, right? Or bookings.holdings.com. Of course, I'm not making stock recommendations here. I'm just talking about the business, right? So I want you to focus. There's two things here. There's stock price is different, business is different. I'm talking about the business. And if you can understand the business, then inshallah you'll do well. If you don't understand
and that depends on the needs of the people at this new stage, because I think people, me and you discussed this before. We said that people that thinks that they're going to be doing it more often now, like traveling, doing all this getaways, like to resorts and things like that. It'll be more and more nowadays. And I also think that people will start to enjoy. Hopefully, they'll start to enjoy life more, because we've been in a bubble, like we would be like hidden somewhere, now it's, once everything has been released, people start to invest more and start to spend more money on those areas. I think that's what
you hit it bang on. So I think like last year, most investors wanted to invest in digital, right? Now this year, that's what worked last year is not going to work this year. So this year is about the real economy. So again, you still want to be in great businesses like Google and Microsoft. They're still going to make money, but we know who they are. We know how they're going to make money. It's just the ones who couldn't make money last year, they're coming from a lower base in their recovery. So that's why, kind of going back to your question, Samir, how do you see the overall economy recovering? That's what I'm trying to say but we have to kind of look forward. We cannot look what happened in the past, right? Yeah. It's like I tell my clients, oh, Samir, show me a historical return. And I go, listen, I'll show you historical returns. But the issue is I'm trying to look forward. So if you get caught up on historical returns, then it's like driving a car looking in the rear view mirror. I got to
No,
drive forward, right?
we have to keep moving on, because we
Right?
cannot thinking about happen. So we just have to keep moving and think more positive, and try to create a better atmosphere for a business perspective, and even
Of course.
a personal perspective. And I think that's the only way moving forward. My other question is, where do you see the actual economy paradigm shift heading for 2021 to 2022, and how this can influence, uh, you know, again, same issue, how this paradigm shift will really influence. I think you covered a lot of that, but I just want to give you more specific in what areas, uh, uh, and from 2021 to 2022, where do you see that shift, that paradigm shift?
So I mean, so there's some secular uh, shifts that happened last year, and I think they're gonna hear there's certain things they're gonna stay, right? Maybe in the short term, next 1 2 years, because we're trying to move back to getting out and business would, but there's certain efficiencies that we've gotten um, from like cloud and cybersecurity. Because look, if you didn't have an online business, right, and you had a retail store, right? I'm talking about last year, then you would be affected because nobody can come and see you. So if you had an online store, right, then who were the kings last year? Amazon, Shopify, right? So those guys will still stick around because it's a convenience thing, right? People are going to go back to convenience, right? But this year, with all the government spending you're seeing in the US, especially in the US, the reason I say US because we're their largest trade partner, so we will benefit from their trade, right? The US government is on a massive spending spree right now. They are trying to fill in the gap where the private sector couldn't the last 1 year. So they're putting in so much money into the economy by doing different types of strategies and the tools they have. And then now they're going to maybe launch an infrastructure package, which
Oh,
is infrastructure meaning into construction, buildings. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to reboot the economy. So everything that is going to be back to some normalization, right, will benefit. So like we talked about industrials, materials, travel business, anything that, was kind of not good last year will start to benefit. But again, you have to be careful to understand you still need Google. Remember that, right?
well,
You still need DocuSign to do your e-signatures. So I think in 2022, it's gonna be, how I said the pendulum last year was all digital, one side digital, and this year maybe analog, right? Where cyclicals and the real economy, right? The industrial companies, they're gonna do with the railways. I think they're gonna do still well the next 1 2 3 years because there's inflation, there's signs of inflation. Look at the housing prices in Canada. Look at
uh,
the food prices. So this is a sign of inflation coming, right? So the economy is getting ready to open up. It'll be a little bit choppy for Canada right now, the next coming months while we kind of get the vaccines, the herd immunity. But eventually, I think it's going to be a combination of both. So if you had a retail store as a business owner, it's okay. Maybe you have a retail store now because people are going to come see you, but think long term, like, okay, I still have to have an online business
so it should be like a hybrid.
eventually because I'm used to it, right? Like I'm used to like, am I going to go to the gym tomorrow? Probably not, right? I still want to use my Peloton, but maybe down the road I will go play soccer again. I'll start meeting people, so the leagues will open up. But I'm just saying but technology gives you convenience too, right? So you don't want to ignore innovation. So for people who want to invest for long term, like another area is clean energy, eventually electric cars, all these areas, like, could be, but these are long term investments. So I think this year is kind of like moving back to some of the stuff that didn't do good last year, but then eventually 2022, 2023, maybe a combination of both.
Well, I mean, I organize also another show, the kitchen and bath, and I've been talking to my clients, and they haven't stopped. Actually, they one of them told, a few of them told me that they have done more work in 2020 than any other years. They were so busy with the kitchen and bath and all the requirements and renovation, the surface and things. So it depends on the business, and as you said, things will some will remain stronger, and some will also be supported by digital, and it's going to be a combination. Well, I think you're right. I agree with you on that, and So let's jump into the other question. Where do you see halal economy in the next 5 years in Canada? And what are the critical measures as a community we need to consider in order to ensure the proper economic growth as in general? Like can you like elaborate on that for us if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I mean, the way I look at it, right? Maybe two or three points, right? So one is, um, first part is where do I see it going, and then the second part is what do we need to do to make it keep going and make it bigger, right? So, uh, as you know, the demographics have changed dramatically, right? Um, I used to remember Mississauga, just Air Mills Town Center, and there's nothing there, right? So over time, the back to what you were saying, the urbanization, a lot of people moving into suburbs, that's helped a lot of the guys who are in construction kitchen, right? Because people want housing and development. So within our community, I think the population growth is going to help. We see that. I think there's some research firms. Don't quote me for it because there's different research firms out there, but they talked about, including Canada and North America, they talked about, 2030, the Muslim population from where it is today can be close to doubling,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
so
that's
so,
true.
so there's some stats out there. I don't want to get into which and what
No,
that,
I
but
mean,
that's
you
we see that
100%,
trend.
100%. It's in the rise and it's keep growing. Now we're almost close to 2 million uh, um, Muslims in Canada,
Yes,
in general, and majority are like a chunk of them are based in GTA.
yes,
And as I was on one of the webinar from we were having the gentleman from the States, and he was telling us that we have the best uh, market for halal because in North America, as the GTA, we have the highest concentration of Muslims in one area.
yes,
You have Muslims in the States much more than us, but in one area, which is the
yes,
Greater Toronto, we are the highest. And our halal industry is on the rise and it's growing in a very steady, good pace where it's more regulated and more organized. That's what
yes.
a very well known in the United States mentioned that in one of the seminars. And also, I see potential for a lot, but there is always the speculation, always the doubts of I hear people want to invest, in the stock market, or they want to invest in, all the wealth management kind of practices, but they're always thinking that we have so much limitation to invest because I don't know if this is going to be um, ethical for me or not. Uh, but what I feel, and I don't know if I was wrong. I feel like there's so much scope there, but many people don't know about it. That they don't know they can reach out to a lot of investment opportunity that is also halal based or Sharia compliance or ethical, I would say, in a general perspective. So can you please give us a little bit of highlights on this and let the people know that there is a comfort when it comes to investing in this big market?
Yeah. So, there are solutions. I just kind of leading back to your last question. I just want to flow that in. Is is the number one thing is, as you mentioned, is we do need some education in this area. Our community, it's going to evolve. It's dynamic. It's growing. It's highly, and the community is highly educated. So they're striving for that education on what's available, what are the solutions, and that's why I see tremendous growth. I've seen amazing growth even within our practice where clients coming in, they want to invest for the long term and they want to have these solutions. Now, leading into what you're saying, yes, we have to put a filter on the businesses we invest on, and they have to comply a globally recognized Sharia methodology on investing, on halal principles, right? So, things like not investing in companies with a lot of debt, a lot of leverage because of the
Okay.
whole interest issue,
Oh, so you
investing in,
even go to that particular area, like when they have so much debts, you have to also flag it. If
yeah, you
Oh,
have to,
I
because
sorry, I
that,
didn't know that. I was
yeah, yeah,
okay.
no, yeah, it's based on, because cash and debt is where interest income can be derived.
Yeah.
right? So it's not just the
Rosary.
simple stuff is easy, right? No alcohol, yeah, we get it, right? That's the basic stuff.
That's
But
what I know.
yeah, right, alcohol and then gambling and
Yeah.
all of all these different sectors, weapons and all this stuff, right, must be avoided. But it's also about how these businesses are behaving when it comes to their finances. Are
Oh.
they building their whole business on loans, right? Are they having real organic growth, or it is just based on debt? They're building the business based on debt, right? So this is a globally recognized methodology. It's not us who do it. We just follow most of the Islamic wealth managers around the world. They've come up with a standard, and we're very united in this. You know how some halal industries have,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
Yeah.
different standards,
But
right?
We have Jakim in Malaysia that governs a lot of the certification bodies around the world. Yes.
Yeah, so and unanimously in North America and UK, Australia, we just follow the global governance guidelines. So we don't debate too much on this. We say, yeah, I get it, too much debt, I get it, why? I understand no alcohol. So it's easy to access the investment world because see, Nasser, even if you don't want to invest in a halal way, you still have a choice to say, well, I don't want to invest in this company that makes a lot of weapons. I'll invest in a healthcare company, right? Does that
Okay.
make sense? So it's a universal principle base.
And
It's not
standards.
just, yeah, but it's for but it's halal. That's the key, right? But it's for everybody. Anybody can invest in it, but it just has to follow certain criteria. And yes, we have a solution for our clients. Alhamdulillah, we actually have three different investment strategies that follow these principles. And you have to think like a business owner when you're investing in this. It's not short term, guys, okay? Because the problem is, right, a lot of people think stocks, you can make money quick out, quick out. Honestly, very tough to do. The way you invest in a halal way, the mentality, the mindset is, if I'm buying this company, I'm getting a little ownership in this business. So think like a business owner. So how
Okay.
would a business owner think when he's investing in his business? He's thinking,
So
how can I make the business better? I'm investing for the long term. And eventually, when this pool gets bigger, then you can take income out when you're not working anymore, right?
and this is interesting because but that still does not limit us. There's a lot of opportunities out there for us to
Lots.
invest in, and I think it's not fully utilized. There are still more areas where people are not investing what they should be investing and still halal, but people don't know about it. And we should really, as you said, educate and let people
Yes.
know that there's no taboo in investing on
No,
those.
because Nasser, I just want to add a point quickly. I know, this is a conversation. I love having these conversations with you. So what I'm saying is think about it, right? Say, example, I'm investing in a railway business, okay, and say it has low debt or no debt, and it's a railway, so we know railways halal, it's part of the economy.
Yeah.
When I'm investing in that business, the company, right? You're circulating your dollars and putting it into a business that might be hiring people. It's helping the economy. So as a halal investor, you're taking your dollars instead of leaving in cash or just keep buying real estate, which doesn't really benefit the economy, right? Like I don't get me wrong, I like real estate, but a lot of times investors that I deal with, all they want to do is cash or real estate, right? But what is cash doing? Nothing. It's not really helping the economy, right? And real estate, what is it really helping? Which economy is it really helping? Is it helping the real economy or just maybe one area? It's not really, but when you're investing in a business, maybe that business hires people, it circulates in the economy. It's so as a halal investor, that's encouraged. And there's so many options. There's so many sectors. You can invest in healthcare, industrials, materials, technology, green
Services.
energy,
Yeah.
real estate, REITs. There's so many, the menu is so bigger. I think
So the
people think,
scope is very big, but for us
yeah,
to explore it, we need to benefit from all these opportunities and people like you and others who are really there to help others get their investment worth in the best, most ethical way possible, and making sure that they don't be doing something against their faith or against their lifestyle, which is great. And also, I wanted to I know that you guys been evolving and developing and things like that. Uh, what you're promising, inshallah, the show will be taking place in November this year. I'm sure that you are always developing new ideas and new things. What in a I don't in a low profile way. Like, don't give it all away. This just give us a glimpse if something you're preparing to showcase to in Hal Expo in 2021 this coming fall. What do you have in planning? Like what are you planning for? Any new ideas package that you are creating?
Um, so the first thing I'm planning is just excited to seeing you there.
Thank you.
Right? So I think that's just the build up, you know, that's just like that hasn't happened last year. We missed it. So I'm really excited to joining there. Um, for us is just what we've learned is because our our I guess your packages are investment strategies for us, right?
Yes.
But I'm sure there's going to be so many other vendors. They're going to have some. For us, is focusing on what we learned from 2020, right? And how we could focus on building an innovation investment model for clients that is going to thrive in the next 5-10 years, so investors can benefit from this type of strategy. So what I've learned from 2020 is basically how can you build on innovation, right? So don't let a crisis go to waste, right? And basically that's what I'm excited to show.
So our attendees will expect to see something because I'm sure you guys, as you mentioned to me, you have a team of researchers and developers who develop and they keep studying the market and get it coming back with more solution to the clients. And I think leading to the show or during the show, you will probably be showcasing something that is more innovative and more developed than ever because I'm sure RBC is always doing something innovative. So that's what I'm expecting to see, and I'm sure you guys are working on something, and I know everybody's waiting for that to see and benefit from. Uh, and going back, you said about Hard Expo, and I know we had a good time there. We were sometimes on the panel, sometimes you were in your booth, and I couldn't have the chance to talk to you much because you're busy all the time talking to people, uh, talking about wealth management and stuff like that. Uh, how did you see the first edition from your perspective in 2019 of Hard Expo?
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was professional. Like it was the whole structure was professional. The booths were different because I've been to some booths, and this was a different environment. I met a lot of professionals, so the audience was focused. They knew what they were looking for. So my conversations were more, I guess you could say more quality, right? So the audience was more focused on that area. The the other thing, I think we structured. I can't remember. Was it 2 days, right, or 3 days?
It was 2 days, but we were planning to have it 3 days this time.
3 days, right?
So 2 days we had it for the first edition because it was the first one. You just wanted to see how it works, and based on the survey, we decided to expand it to 3 days. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And I think you also we you support our conference. You were there moderating one of the most important sessions, which is higher investing and finance. That was also interesting. I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you know what, I just to remind, sorry, I feel like, 2020, you start to forget all the exciting things we did in 2019, right?
It was
So,
fun.
the conference, I think the educational events you had, those were really informative. A lot of people came back to us and said, this is great. And just bringing the community, the business community together for Halal Lifestyle, which was great. I got to see different, sectors that's trying to build in the Canadian environment. And I think it's just only the beginning, right? It's
Well,
only the beginning.
that's lead me to the next question. What are you hoping to achieve as someone trying to attract more investors to benefit from the some of the wealth opportunities, and what you want us like? Um, do you have anything that you like to see also more at the show? And that's what I want to hear.
Um, so the first part was about what, sorry, can you just repeat the
I
question again? I couldn't hear you there.
What are you hoping to achieve? As someone who's trying to attract investors and to benefit from the wealth management, and opportunities from there? What are you trying to achieve?
So yeah, so I mean, for us, is the number one goal is we want our community, right, and clients who want to invest in halal way, they have a solution. That's the key, right? Because like you said, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. There's not too many professionals I can speak to. But then also at the same time, the solutions offered by a blue chip brand like RBC Wealth Management. So they get best of both worlds. They get a halal solution and they get a blue chip brand that
They have the sense
is
of assurance because they have some
I mean,
good.
for us, I mean, sure, there's other firms, they're great. I'm just talking about for us. That's what we want to. So we want to show that we're part of the community, right? We're engaged. We want to provide a solution for them because a lot of times they might think, oh, there's no solution. So that's number one. Our objective is to say we're here, we're available for you, we have a solution, and we love to chat with you and educate you. So I think those are the three, four areas we want to make sure that our community knows about, right? I think the other part which I liked is you did it good bringing business owners together, right? So that's going to help the community because I got to know other halal brands that I didn't know about, right? And hearing their stories, right? And what their journey is all about. So that was exciting. And then the educational part, what you guys did, I think we should keep doing that because as long as people are being educated on, different sectors of the halal economy, then it's only going to make a consumer or someone who's trying to produce a good or someone who's trying to start up a business. It's going to help people connect with each other, and they're going to make wise decisions if they're educated. So please continue with the educational side because I think that's going to help business owners and let them decide. Hey, I want to do business with this. I want to do business here. But the way you guys brought everybody together, I think that should continue, and we're love to be part of it and support you guys.
Well, that's exactly our aim. Is we're going to create a platform for people to network and to have a dialogue and to be educated and to also so we don't like it's there. We don't judge. We don't say who is better, who's this. This is exactly what we do. We're bringing the manufacturers or the service providers into this platform and let the people who want to invest with them or do business with them decide whether this is the right for me. And that's the beauty of trade show. It's you don't need to go to different people. You can go to one place under one roof. You can in 2 to 3 in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of walking on the show. You'll be able to generate a good perspective of this industry and which one is good to work with, instead of trying to do research and running around. You can meet everybody in one place. You can meet the CEO of a company and seniors. Where you trying, if you want to do it in your own way, you have to make an appointment and spend so much time and try to get that right person. But that's what the trade show is all about. It's
And
about
you know what? And Nasser, just to add, what was great, I met some international executives and I met some international businesses. So it's great for Canada that the expo is trying to bring international investments, right? So we need that as Canada. As you know, one of the things we don't do is we need to do better is to have better trade relations internationally. So I think that's another benefit. It's only going to help like the overall economy as a whole, but also the halal lifestyle economy, right? So I think that was great. I think that we want to keep focusing on, and I think that was just, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to add that.
No, no, definitely. I agree with you. And this is our objective, is to bring in more, to let the people here in Canada decide between the international and local, because you need to have, a variety of things. You cannot just have a one market. You have to have multiple markets, so we can, give the consumer or the supplier the best product and the best service he can use. And also that's why we invest a lot in traveling to different trade shows in Malaysia and Turkey and other places, so we can have a presence there and let people know that Canada is open for halal business and we are welcoming all businesses. We're not just an immigration hub. We're now actually open for business. We have already signed a free trade agreement with so many countries, and we continues to promote Canada as a great place for investment, and as a Canadian to invest as well overseas as well. So it's a great place to be, and we will continue promoting that. as we're running out of time, but I guess we can spend many sessions with you because it's so much to talk about, and I really enjoyed this, and I learned some new things I never knew about. I thought I knew about the ethical halal investing, but there are things that I wasn't aware. Like for example, you mentioned about the company, to invest. It's not built on debts; it's more built on organic growth, and those are things that would not only if it was alcohol or if it was weapons, or there are many other areas that you need to know the right person or the right company that will guide you into the right path if you want to do halal investing, right? Is that what we're trying to let people know?
Yes, you guys. Just it's basically you can invest with your values and your principles and your beliefs without trying to compromise, long-term financial returns. Because a lot of people think if I invest with my values and my beliefs, I'm gonna lose out on returns, and that is a myth. That is not real. Like you could do both, inshallah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Samir. And I know we are approaching the holy month of Ramadan, and I
inshallah.
think it's going to be a great time for all of us. And I wish everybody a great health and a safe time, safe environment, and hopefully we are getting close to recovery and reopening of this beautiful economy. And I thank you once again,
Inshallah.
Samir Azam, for your time and coming on our panel. And we look forward to speaking to you more often. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Pakistan. Thank you. Thank you for having me.